asked today what a powerlifting diet should look like, and it's it's an interesting question, and obviously there isn't really necessarily a correct answer for this. Just my sort of take on things. I am someone that is a proponent of tracking your macros, so I actually use Avatar Nutrition from time to time, but my missus is also a qualified nutritionist, a proper one, not a bullshit one. There's a big difference. She's got an actual science degree, rather than people telling you that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Big difference. She's super smart. So she helps me out quite a lot, and she does people's nutrition plans, various athletes and so on. So I'm a big fan of tracking, and I've done that quite a lot over the last sort of 2 years, mainly last couple of years. Before that, to lose weight, I would use Carb Night, which is basically no carbs for 7 to 10 days, and then you'd have a big carb meal in the evening and repeat the process. And I'd use that before to drop weight, but you feel weak as piss because you've got no carbs. It's great for fat loss, and I know Mark Bell, who's obviously super popular in the fitness industry, whatever you want to call it, is a big proponent of this whole war on carb stuff, and I think there's some good lessons in having a little bit of a break off of carbs. However, as an athlete, you shouldn't. You really need carbs. Carbs are the body's preferred fuel for energy. The whole ketogenic thing is just making your body change the preferred fuel. I mean, ketosis is when your body uses fat for fuel. The idea being your body fat. That isn't really quite how it works, but and there's no studies that show really that ketogenic diet is any better, but they are effective. And the most important thing is picking a diet that you can be sustainable on, and you can stick to it, and that's the key. So obviously the question wasn't on weight loss or anything like that. I just wanted to get that across. Is tracking is something I use to lose weight slowly over a period of time, to monitor calorie intake, and now it's something I use from time to time to monitor maintenance or potentially a building phase. So I am a big fan of getting kind of a gram per pound of lean body weight. That's kind of like where the studies are at. A gram per pound of lean body weight is the kind of there or thereabouts what you need. A little bit more might be good, but there's not much more than that before the body diminishing returns, so don't go crazy. On your sheets, I'm rolling it out. Some of you have already got it at the bottom. There's this new a new section where you put in your body weight, and based off your body weight, it calculates your daily minimum requirement as a rough guide. It's not by any means accurate. It's just a rough guide based off your body weight. The minimum you should be hitting, not optimal, because it's not using your body fat. So I didn't want to get too advanced, but I just wanted to cover the basics. So in the new sheet that we're rolling out, I'm just rolling it out as people update the cycle. If you are interested in having this, please tell me, and I can add it to your sheet. But something it looks at is it's a quick yes or no. Did you hit your minimum protein requirement on average? Did you hit enough sleep? Did you hit enough water? Did you, and so on. You don't need to go too much into that, but if you are interested in those things, let me know and I can add to your sheet. Anyway, so that is where I start out with protein. If you're new to tracking, the thing I'd recommend is just to eat at like completely normal. Track every single day for 2 weeks. Take an average of those calories. Weigh yourself, obviously, over this period of time. If you don't gain weight over that 2 week period, and you track every day, take those average macros and calories, and those are going to be your maintenance. Obviously, if you gain a little bit, you might have to take a little bit off, but you can use that as your starting point. So about that, cool. I'll just connect videos. So that I take that average. If you want to maintain, I just make sure you ballpark around there. If you want to obviously gain or lose weight, I would do small adjustments unless you've got a meet coming up of 200 calories. If you're averaging 3,500 calories as a guy, obviously training quite hard, maybe a bit of a bigger guy, it's kind of common. If you're averaging around there and you want to gain a little bit, maybe try 3650 for 2 weeks. See how you respond to that. Assess, take it up or down depending on what I do, and that's how I do it. And how much carbs and protein? I'd take a protein to about a gram per pound of lean body weight, and then the carbs and fats kind of up to you. I prefer slightly higher carbs in my diet. Some people prefer slightly higher fat. But yeah, something around 50, 25, 25 for the split of carbs, protein and fat. It's kind of what I do normally, but I prefer higher carbs. Have a little play around with that. As far as like food sources, and by that I don't mean ketchup, you want to keep it pretty healthy. Like, you obviously, don't kid yourself if you're eating like shit, but hitting the macros. Like, I think food sources are pretty important. The way you got to look at it is calories are the most important, macros are the second most important, and then you're probably going to look into the quality of the foods, and then the timing of the foods, and that's kind of the pyramid of priorities. So first of all, you've got to make sure you're getting enough calories to maintain your body weight, if that's the goal. Make sure you're consistently hitting the calories daily, rather than having one day of 2,000 calories, one day of 4,000 calories to make an average of 3,000 calories. Make sure you're being quite consistent. That definitely helps with recovery, also being prepared for training sessions. Being consistent with food is important. Make sure your meal timings aren't crazy spaced out. So just be consistent. Once you're tracking your calories, if you are, do not do it every day. If you're a person that can get obsessive, a bit anal about things, so it could easily turn into an eating disorder, in my opinion. Tracking your food all the time. I only kind of use it when I'm dieting, when I'm maintaining. I track here and there to make sure I'm not getting off track, and I weigh myself regularly. But if you're someone that could be prone to it being a negative thing for your mind, then I really wouldn't track regularly. I just eyeball things after tracking for a small amount of time, because I do think it can lead to disorders and so on. Weighing everything, counting everything, it's not very fun. It might be optimal, but there are some mental side effects, I believe, that can be easy to get. So yeah, that's kind of where you're at. So for breakfast, you can have some porridge, maybe chuck a scoop of whey in there, peanut butter if you've got the fat allowance, or if you're like me, I usually have porridge, and then I have a shake afterwards, or before or during, because I just rather have the two things separate. But I know some people like to mix them up and make something interesting. My missus loves a concoction in the morning. She likes to chuck courgettes in her porridge and all this crazy stuff, and fruit and seeds and nuts, and she likes to go hard, but I'm not big on breakfast at all. I really don't eat in the mornings. I don't really eat until about midday or just before. So yeah, I mean, which probably isn't ideal, but I just struggle to eat in the morning, so a shake is kind of where I'm at in the morning, with some oats usually, I have a beef protein shake from Bulk Powders because I don't tolerate whey that well. So yeah, I'm mindful of that. And in the afternoon, I usually have some chicken and rice. Again, for me personally, I have a little lower fat, so I go for a lower fat meat. Maybe have some sauce on the rice, or get like the Uncle Ben's like packs of rice. Not Uncle Ben's because I'm not an idiot. I just get the Sainsbury's ones, or the whichever supermarket, and that's actually fine and like half the price. So yeah, I usually chuck a little bit of water in there and mix it up so the rice is a little sticky as well. The George Foreman is an awesome bit of kit for grilling up chicken. I do have beef every now and again for sure, but it's just for me, like, I'm fat enough. Higher fat meats is what I'd suggest someone that struggles to gain weight, or someone struggles to eat a lot of food, but I can eat a lot of volume of food. So for me, lower fat is helpful because I can have more volume, because fat is over twice the calories per gram. So a gram of fat is 9 calories, a gram of carbs is 4. So you can get a lot more bang for your buck as far as volume by eating more carbs. So for me, that's kind of why I go the higher fat. Get off your phone. I go for the lower fat, higher carb, is because I can eat more volume of food, and for me that makes me feel better, especially if I'm cutting the calories. Still eat a large volume of food. And then I have the same again, or something similar, maybe a sandwich and a shake, a small shake, maybe a pre-made shake. And then the evenings it can vary a lot. Sometimes it's some tortellini, really quick meal because I get home late, or some rice, or some tuna, or some pasta and some tuna, something like that. Not tuna every night. Sometimes chuck a chicken in there. Sometimes I'm already over my protein, so I don't need to, and I can have a pizza or something like that. Obviously for me, I can eat kind of like 3,600 to 4,000 calories. It seems to be fine, so I can have those little splurges here and there. Try and keep it 80-20, like good food, bad food. Don't want to eat too much shit. With vegetables, I don't eat enough, that's for sure. With veg, you want to be looking at, I think, Becky or Mrs. will kill me for not knowing how many grams it is, but bags of salad and stuff like that, you have to eat a lot of salad for it to count as one of your 5 a day, because salad's really light. You want to be going for like kind of rootier stuff. Like I really like green beans, asparagus, snap peas, all these things. That's what I really like. You can get them in the bag from the supermarket. You can literally just pop the bag. You can pop the bag and bang it in the microwave about 3 minutes, and you've got like some warm beans or peas, whatever it may be. And you can stay for half later. You can put a little bit of butter on them, salt them up, and that's like a real nice way of eating veg. Again, chuck it with rice, chicken, whatever it may be. That's a good little meal. So you don't want to spend too much time prepping meals and so on. But yeah, that's what I eat a lot of rice, chuck it with chicken or beef and some veg. Protein, I usually have 1 shake a day, otherwise I find it hard to get my protein requirements. I don't really want to eat that much meat, personally, morally, whatever. I don't think you need to eat meat every meal. So I just have a shake here and there to sort of supplement that. Haven't found any kind of good like non-meat kind of shakes. Like the vegan ones I've tried are like really horrible. Thought process being you don't have to eat meat, a bit more ethical, but that's just me. But if any of you know, let me know about that, because I can't do whey. So yeah, and obviously all the soy stuff is not that great for you, and really not that bioavailable either, so you have to have a lot more to get the same benefit. But yeah, just concentrate on like decent protein sources, something like chicken thigh, stuff off the bones a little bit better, potentially more nutritious because the fat in there. Again, I'm a big fan of tracking. and after a while you can just eyeball stuff. Weigh yourself quite regularly. Again, if that's not an issue for you, I weigh myself most days if I'm near competition. Now I'm 3 weeks out. I'm weighing myself evening and morning, so I can get an idea of how much weight I lose overnight. So when I'm competing, I know roughly what I need to be the night before to guarantee I'm going to wake up lighter. So yeah, so there's a few tips. I think fruit's obviously a great little snack. Definitely a good pre-workout. You don't want to be having too much fat around your workout. You want to be keeping a higher carb, higher protein meal around your workouts, because the fat can sort of slow absorption. So I'd have a lot more carbs around your workout. Have some of your fat earlier in the day or later in the evening, depending on when you train. But yeah, anyway, I hope this was helpful. Yeah, if you're like obviously interested in getting like a proper nutrition and so on, let me know. My missus does like actual like athletes and so on. But yeah, anyway, those are just a few little things that may help you. Yeah, it may help you get your food right. But I think we all know what a good diet kind of looks like, and if you're eating shit quality foods, processed meals all the time, you just got to kind of be a little bit realistic. Like, that's not going to be good for you or your gains. We all know what healthy food kind of looks like. So yeah, anyway, good luck.